final step in processing your inventory and tracking your inventory in Business Plus Accounting is to do any manual modifications to your inventory accounts that need to be done, and those can be done through the Inventory Management option. Under Inventory Management, again, you have the option to add, modify, or delete. Now this is in reference to specific inventory records. Let's go ahead and take a look at those, and then we'll look at some of the other functions that are available. Let's select Add. When we add inventory, we're not defining a new product, we're adding a batch of that product to our inventory. So we specify the product, and again we can use the pick list there if we want to. We specify the location that we want it added to if we want to store a location, and we specify the quantity of that inventory product that we want to store. Let's add 50 of these. If we want to enter a serial or a lot number for that inventory, we can do so here. We enter the date that it was stored. If it's already been picked from and we want to store that information, we can store that. And then finally, the unit cost. The unit cost is very important because this is the cost that will be used when we sell this inventory that we're adding. And that's the process of adding an inventory record. Each time you make a manual change to the inventory software, it probably means that the numbers in your inventory software no longer add up to the numbers in your product record for the current on hand. For that reason, each time you make a manual modification to your inventory, you'll see this question asking if you want to update the product on hand quantities based on the current inventory. If you select yes, the software will automatically recalculate your current product on hands for all your products based on the totals of the relevant inventory records. Let's take a look at the modify process. To modify, we enter a product ID and a location, or we can pick those off the pick list. Now you'll notice here that we're looking at the inventory pick list. You can tell because we see several records with the same product ID. Let's go ahead and select one of those. And the software now brings us up into our inventory spreadsheet. In this screen, you can see each batch of inventory that's currently stored on this system. You can see the quantity that are stored in that batch, and you can see the cost associated with that batch. So here, for example, on this product, you can see that we've received all of these products at $5 a piece. When they're sold, they'll be sold based on a $5 a piece cost, and that'll be used to calculate the profit on those sales. But when we sell these 50 units, we paid $5.50 a piece, and the software will keep track of that accordingly. It does sell first in, first out by default, and assuming that you haven't changed that definition option, so that the software will use these records first, and then it will use these records. From this screen, we can change whatever information we need to change. Perhaps we've discovered that some of our inventory has disappeared, so we can change quantities here. We can also change costs here if we realize that that was actually sold at or purchased at a higher cost. We can make that change. If we want to assign it to a different inventory location, we can also do that. We can assign lot numbers from here, change any of this information. When we're done, we press F3, and again we're prompted to re-update our product levels under the assumption that they are no longer accurate based on the data that we've changed. To delete an inventory record, again, we can use the pick list to select an inventory record. The software will warn us to make sure that we are deleting the right record. If you have multiple records with the same product ID and location, then it's necessary to use the pick list to make sure that the software picks the exact record that you want to be deleted. We'll go ahead and let it delete that record, and again update our product records. That's the manual process of adjusting inventory. You'll do that when you perform cycle counts, or you'll do that when for any other reason you determine that the current inventory records in the software are not accurate. Let's look at the rest of the options that are available. Move products to inventory for products not in inventory. We'll create new inventory records for any products that you've defined that don't have inventory records at this time. Typically this function isn't necessary, as those inventory records will be automatically created when you define the product. Move inventory totals for all products to product records is identical to the function that you're prompted to run each time that you add, modify, or delete. It updates the on-hand totals in your product database based on the current totals in the inventory database. Move latest inventory cost for products to product records allows you to update the default cost of each product in your product database with the most recent cost entered in the inventory database. This is an easy way to keep your default prices up to date, or your default costs up to date, if they're pretty consistent based on the prices that you're receiving those products at. View manual changes to inventory allows you to see any manual changes or adjustments that have been made in inventory. This is very useful because the software will typically keep your inventory accurate automatically, and anytime there's a discrepancy, it's good to know how that's happened. So in order to help you track those down, you can see any manual changes that were made as well as where they were made from. And that shows you the beginning quantity, the ending quantity, and the total change to inventory with the date and time that that change was made. You can also change the costs of inventory and the sales for a product lot. Assuming that you're putting in a serial number or a lot number, then you can come in and you can enter a lot number that you've received, and you can enter the new cost for that product. The Handheld Inventory Data Collector functions are an add-on module that's available from Business Software Solutions with a handheld data collector that will allow you to, using a separate handheld device, scan or enter in all of the inventory from your warehouse or from your floor, and then plug that device back into your computer to upload your inventory. It's a very easy way to do a cycle count and to make sure that your actual inventory is reconciled against the inventory that's in your software. You can contact Business Software Solutions for more information on obtaining that module. Inventory shrinkage tracking allows you to track loss of inventory due to product shrinkage or bad product. Again, you can add, modify, or delete those records. You can view the current inventory shrinkage on your system or print an inventory shrinkage report. And finally, if you've enabled in your miscellaneous definitions the daily inventory snapshot, you can use the inventory module to go back and print an inventory snapshot of any specific day. You can specify the day that you want the snapshot printed for, as well as the department, the product department and type that you want to view it for, and a summary or detail which specifies if you see all records or just subtotals for each product. And that's the inventory snapshot report.